Hello, and welcome to What's Next for Your Life conference. Hey, I wanted to take this moment to introduce you to some of the speakers and share some insights as to what topics we're going to be covering. So, I love this conference. This is a conference that's focused on you and where you're going to go with your life in a variety of different areas. So, definitely hang tight and we'll get going on the introducing some of the people. But also want to let you know this is your last day to get a discount on the tickets, and we'll talk about that some more as we wrap up the session. But let's go ahead and look at our cast of characters that are here today. So there's a little QR code that'll take you right to that discount that you'll get. And this conference you definitely want to attend. So let's get started. And we're going to start with, I'm going to be moderating the conference. So you're going to see me. I'm going to be the funny character that stands up and keeps things flowing. But I wanted to take a moment to introduce you to Marvis. Marvis is going to be our trainer, and she's going to be providing a lot of the real meat to the session, things that allow you to walk away and have some action plans going. So Marvis, I want to ask you some questions.
Okay, Marilyn, ask me these questions.
Okay, so what's important about calibrating your life? Why would somebody want to come to this conference?
Because they need to know that they're important and that they need to take the first steps in taking care of themselves so they can take care of others and their businesses.
Great. Okay, so you've attended this conference before, and how has it affected you? What have you been able to do after attending the Calibrate Your Life conference?
My cup has just overflowed. I have been able to fill my cup and then it has overflowed to other people. And I'm just so excited about living and just having a good time. And now I truly feel like I am the chief fund officer.
Great. That's so awesome. So when you look at um, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be providing the training. What do you think people will get from the training that you're going to provide? What can we expect?
The training gives them a chance to reflect on the speakers' comments and the golden nuggets that they're going to provide, and then be able to just put them up and wrap them in a bow so that they have so many different takeaways that they're going to be excited about joining the community and doing all of the things that I know that our presenters are going to share with them.
Well, great. Well, thanks. Thanks for sharing. We'll be back. I'll drag you up for some more personal questions. I'm not sure what they'll be yet, but I did want to move on. We have two speakers here, and I wanted to have Hollis and Mindy share their insights for their topics. So we're going to do it kind of jointly. So first off, we've got Hollis is going to be talking about career and how that's so much of a big part of your life. And then Mindy is covering lifestyle, and they'll be participating in panel discussions as well as they'll have breakout rooms. So when you think about your section, your topic, Hollis, uh, why is the topic important, or why does it have an impact on calibrating your life?
Because your career is your passion. It should be your passion. If it's not your passion, it should be your passion. So it's what you do on a regular basis, and it just should make you happy. So that's why it's just so important. Just want to kind of get in. If anybody's off kind of with that vibration, it's a matter of getting people back on track.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I mean, how many hours do we spend on our career? You know,
Right.
unfortunately, too many. So Mindy, what about you and lifestyle? Why is that topic so important to calibrating your life?
I think kind of like what Hollis was saying, or not kind of, but like Hollis was saying with career, our lifestyle is all of the things that that we put into it, and that can end up being really overwhelming. And there's a lot of noise in the world. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. And for me, as an introvert, sometimes I have a hard time tuning all of that out. But it's really in looking at your lifestyle and looking at what your values are and how you can create boundaries that help you to live with that authenticity, integrity, and really tap into that passion. All of those things make a difference in the way that you can find joy in your life and feel like you're really living up to the type of life that you want to have.
Okay, well, cool. So I'm going to stick with you, Mindy. So how has this topic, so how have you taken what you just said and actually calibrated your life with it, with your thoughts?
I think it's easy to get lost I'm going to say in the weeds or in the jungle of all the different ideas and thoughts and just the noise out there, like I had shared. And so, one of the things that I've really had to do over the years to be able to keep my sanity, first of all, because, it can be really overwhelming. And sometimes, with people who have mental health issues too, you look at that, and I think some of it the weight of all of that can really just bog you down. And so one of the things that I've learned to do is to look at where am I saying yes and where am I saying no, and understanding I have my shirt on today that says kindness is magic, and kindness is one of my key core values. And so when I think about that, it's really kindness takes a lot of strength, and it's not necessarily being nice. It's being clear, and part of that clarity comes from boundaries, and that's what I'm learning to do for myself. Not always be the yes girl, but to also be the yes and no girl, saying no to some things so I can say yes to other things that have meaning to me.
Yeah, and my problem in that area is not so much other people, but saying yes to me. It's like, oh my gosh, my expectations of what I should be able to get accomplished, and why am I not getting it all done? And shame on me. And so it's sometimes stepping back and saying no to myself and all those expectations that I put on myself. Um, Definitely for lifestyle. I'm like, go, 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 do, 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 experience, experience. I want to do it all. My gosh. Oh, well. So, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing for Hollis. Same thing with career. I wanted to do it all in my career too, while I was doing everything else in my lifestyle. So how about, Hollis, how about you? How have you taken and looked at what you're going to be presenting for career, and how has it actually contributed to you calibrating your life?
This is going to be such a great conference because so many things that you just said, Mindy, are like, we're just so in alignment. Um, how has it kept me there? It's been a journey. And I think this is really just talking about the authenticity of everything. So, being an art teacher for 30 plus years and then making a transition to being an entrepreneur and what that looks like, and then really honing in on my message and what I'm passionate about, and how I live my life is a direct reflection of the career and the business that I create, and what my values are, and what I want and what I want to offer to the world. So it's honestly, it's been a journey. And I think it's important for people to recognize that in what you choose to do, um, it doesn't always have to be set in stone. There's space for transition and transformation and figuring things out. I think that people need to understand that and know that.
Yeah. I think one of the lessons I learned at Intel, which is there were a lot, I spent quite a few years there, but it was looking at things, and we always want to have 100% correct, 100% perfect at everything we do. And the reality is there's not value in that, because the cost to get to that 100% is too much. And so even at Intel, they were perfectionists, but they were still able to look at different projects and say, we can just do a C here. We can get 70% of it right, and let's move on, because the cost and the expense of doing it at 80% level or 90% level is too much. And so that's what we kind of have to look at as to how we're prioritizing our time and what we're doing with our life. And is it worth all that time, or is our time better spent, doing something else and accept the fact that you're not going to do 100% on everything. I don't do 100% on anything, even my house cleaning. It's like, okay, I'm not doing under the table today. So, so now what I'd like to do is thank you guys for sharing, but I want to ask, Holly, we'll start with you. What can we expect from your section, your breakout? What are we going to learn? What's the key thing?
We're going to be doing some doodling, everybody. So this is not a kid thing. This is for adults. It's kids, it's everybody. So doodling, lines, shapes, whatever comes through, and creating some I am statements that go along that with positive adjectives, which can be just for you. Doesn't have to be for anybody else to see. And the purpose of this is that I find that when you doodle and when you create these I am statements, it opens up your mind, and it kind of stops the chatter up here and gets you more heart-centered. So we're going to go through some practice for you to be able to use this tool to incorporate into your everyday.
That's going to be awesome because I'm a visual person. So yeah, I can write just statements all day long. And maybe I read them. I'm not real good at it, but maybe I read them. But if I can get a visual picture of that, that stays with me longer. I do love to have a visual, and unfortunately, my husband says that's why I'm such a bad storyteller, because I talk and talk and talk because I'm trying to paint that visual picture every time I'm telling a story, and he kind of wanders off. But I'm doodling it. That's a great idea. I mean, I did enjoy doodling in my scrapbooks, my notebooks in school, but they weren't really tied to what I was writing. So this will be fun. Let's try something new.
It's always kind of tied to like a kid thing, and I think it's a tool. So
Mhm.
I really think it's just understanding that it's a tool that can kind of quiet the mind and create reminders and ideas, let ideas flow, and all of this in a way where you're not so stuck in your head.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. I can't wait. I've already got my book ready. I'm picturing my doodle book. Okay, so Mindy, what are you going to share with us in your breakout session that's going to rock our lifestyle?
Well, I really want us to figure out what our personality type is when it comes to setting boundaries. And so I had alluded earlier to the fact that I'm a yes person. And part of that is just my personality. I really want to be supportive. I want to show up for people. And there are other people who, like, when they set their boundaries, sometimes it doesn't come across as kind as I would like, and we can get our feelings hurt that way. So I think it's what we're going to be going to do is I'm going to give a little assessment, and it's not going to be lengthy. And of course, there's no grade to it, but it's just to give some insight into what your personality type is so that you can figure out how to set boundaries that help you to live the life that you're looking to live.
So that's an amazing topic, because how much of our time do we spend trying to meet everybody else's expectations for us? And I love all the personality stuff, because the reality is that if we took the time to understand more about ourselves and what's important to us, but then others too in our life, and how do they view things, and what's important to them. So I think from that standpoint, it'll be very helpful. I'm looking forward to your session too, because I need to boundaries is, it's so ironic that setting boundaries was one of my first key goals this year. I never have been good at setting boundaries. So
Me either, Marilyn. You're not alone.
this will be helpful. So, hey, I wanted to take just a few more moments to be able to have all of us maybe chime in a little. Some of our other topics, our presenters aren't here right now, but we will be starting off the conference with self-care. And that to me is really important, because you got to start with yourself. And if we take care of ourselves, then we're fully here to be able to take care of others. So I'm just going to go around the screen that I have in front of me. So Hollis, what are your thoughts on self-care and its importance to lifestyle?
It's key to everything, and I'm a work in progress. with this. Being part of this community has been amazing because people have said, Hollis, you need to take a break. I'm like, can I just push through? And because that's been something that I'm used to doing. So it is having that community around you to remind you. But besides, self-care is it's everything, because your body, your mind, something is going to break down eventually if you don't take care of yourself. So you might as well be proactive.
Okay, Marvis, what do you think? What are you going to get out of self-care, life calibration?
I am getting out of it how to establish my routine so that I have a good AM and a good PM routine that reminds me of the reason why I do what I do in during those days. So I'm excited.
All right. Okay, and Mindy, what impact does self-care have on you and calibrating your life?
Ooh, self-care is so tricky, isn't it? Because there are so many ideas that we have around self-care. It's selfish, it's whatever it is. And I think I remember Monica at one of our other conferences had talked about self-care. You know what? It is selfish, and it's important that we take that time to really honor ourselves. And I haven't always been very good at that. That's part of that boundary setting that I haven't been very good at. And so that's been my goal over the past couple of years, especially as a newer empty nester, is to really look at the places where I'm showing up, how I'm showing up, and then putting me on my calendar. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of it, and that's also what I know I need in my life. And like Marvis had said, having really good routines, because I like to think, oh, I can be spontaneous and get the things that I want done. And I don't always do a very good job of that because my mind is pinging everywhere. But it's like at the same time, I know I need the structure.
Yeah.
So I'm balancing those different parts of my personality.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know I always had people say, oh, you got to take care of yourself. You got to be around to take care of your kids. And they, of course, were always thinking about health and fitness. But I think there's so much mental that if we, like, I really liked what you said, how we show up depends upon how we care for ourselves first. And, if we're not taking care of ourselves, then we're not showing up to the full potential that we are. So the next topic is romantic partnership, and that's going to be Rick and Lisa joining us on conference day. And again, another key element of your life. So just quickly, if you could say one tip on what you think that calibration is for your partnership. Go ahead, Holly. What do you think's going to be important?
So many things that are important. It's connection. So establishing that connection and having the boundaries of the self-care of the time to create that connection with your partner, it's key, and it can often get overlooked and get put on the back burner. So I'm really looking forward to there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Marvis. I know, I always challenge you on your relationships. But what's important for you in a relationship? What are some key, one key thing that you want in a relationship?
Trust and honesty.
Nice, nice. That's really important. And Mindy, did you have anything to add on what's going to come out of this romantic partnership section for you?
I think really looking at our partners as partners and not as enemies, because sometimes we get so busy in the day to day that we can treat our partner like an enemy. And I remember my husband stopping me one day, and he's like, and we've been married almost 30 years now, and he had said to me, I'm not your enemy. And I'm like, but I'm not treating you like my enemy. And then I realized from even the tone of my voice, the way that I was holding myself, that I was. And so that's really been an eye opener for me, is to recognize that I have a partner, not someone I have to compete with.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. That is true. So true. I think the key thing is we have a tendency to feel like we can treat our partners, our family members in not like we would treat outsiders. You know, people outside of the family, we treat really nice and with lots of love and care, and then we turn around and we dump on our family. And it's you know, I hadn't really thought about it as an enemy, but definitely I've had those. My husband challenges my tone of voice, and I challenge his too, as to what are we communicating with that tone of voice. And we've been married 35 years, so we're hanging in there. The next topic, then, we talked about lifestyle. We're going to jump to nurturing, which is again another thing of how and what do we nurture in our life. It's not just nurturing kids, it's, you know, also nurturing our partners, it's nurturing our plants, it's nurturing everything. So what comes to mind, Hollis, of something that you nurture?
Well, I think the word nurture just, to me, I thought of awareness. So it's just awareness. So it's nurturing relationships. It's nurturing my cats. It's nurturing the house. It's nurturing relationships. It just feels like that word nurture is in everything.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yes, that's so much. So sure. But okay, Marvis, she kind of ran a list of things. Is there one thing or particular that you love to nurture?
I think nurturing my soul is what's most important to me right now.
That's great. That's very important. I might have to think about doing that. I need to nurture my soul more. And that's really, that is very hard. That really hit me. Okay, Mindy, do you have something that what's the first thing that comes to mind about nurturing something?
I think both Marvis and Hollis added to it or said kind of what I was thinking of, and that it's really my personal growth, and really looking at, you know, with awareness, what is it that I can do to nurture myself, nurture my soul, so that I can show up in the places and spaces in my life where I am needed, and you know, and there's a piece of me that needs to nurture other people as well, and I do that from this spot first.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a lot of time nurturing my grandkids because I've got one and I've got two more coming in the fall. Woohoo, can't wait. But I really think that my goal this year has been more to step back and nurture myself, just because, like, you know, the soul, like Marvis was saying, you know, I need to, I'm, you know, going into my last phase of life, and what does that mean to me? What does that mean to me and my soul, and what do I want to get accomplished? So we talked about career. We're going to wrap up. The last session is on tribe, and Jamie Nolan's going to be our speaker there. And just real quick, what does tribe? I'm going to take you off the hot seat, Holly. Mindy, I'm throwing it at you. What does tribe mean to you?
You know, I think it's important for us to know, first of all, what tribe does mean to each of us. And for some of us, that can be like a few really close friends and our family members, you know, looking at the strength of those relationships. It's also our connections, you know, so depending on whether we're more introverted or extroverted, you know, that we can look at different places for those tribe members to come in. So that's what I think of when I hear the word tribe. And you know, those are people that can nurture us, going back to nurture, in all those different parts of our lives, whether it be in our career, our home life, or in the community.
So, Marcus, what's your tribe?
I had this conversation this week, and what I said is the tribe is what do people say behind your back? So not so much in front of you, but what do they say behind your back? And when you find out they have all good things to say about you, then you know that you have a tribe that you need to just blossom.
That's awesome. That kind of scared me a little because I don't, you know, think of tribe as negative, but that was like, oh, she's going to talk about behind my back. Oh my gosh. But that's true, you know, when you think about what people say about you, that's so heartfelt, and, you know, and you want to hug them and keep them close. So Hollis, how about Remind me.
I think it's going off what Marva said in a way of just knowing those people that are your supporters, that have your back, that love you and support you for who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, that are there to support you. That's your tribe.
Yeah.
And you can determine who those people are. They have your back.
Yeah.
And they're willing to just listen too. They're not talking at you.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's really good. And I think the thing, it's hard because, again, being the do it all, accomplish it all person that I am, asking somebody for help or asking, anybody else, it's difficult. But knowing that I could, if I needed help, call some people and they would respond, knowing they're part of my tribe. And likewise, people call, I'm there to help them as much as possible. So, wow. Well, this has been a fun session. Thank you guys for participating. I think that we've given our audience some great ideas of what they're going to get out of attending What's Next for Your Life conference. And again, we want to offer a discount. If you sign up and buy your ticket today, you will get an early bird price. There's a QR code there for you. And we're just going to have lots of fun on July 19th. Don't miss out. Be there with us. Roll up your sleeves and let's attack your life and build your life, calibrate your life for the rest of it. So thank you.